Hello, I'm Laura.
And I'm Kat.
And welcome to the Giving Voice podcast from Chandler House at UCL, where each month we invite special guests to help us explore an area of speech and language therapy you've always wanted to know a little bit more about.
Plus, each episode we will share our peaks and troughs of being a student speech and language therapist, and we get to stick our noses into the lives of our fellow students at UCL.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Laura. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you this week?
I'm well, thank you. I'm good. Have just been getting on with those essays that we've had set instead of our exam. So it's quite nice to have a little bit more structure to my day, having things to do. But yeah, how are you?
Lovely. Also trying to get on with essays, but I don't think I've been quite as successful as you have. But you know, there's been some words have been typed.
We've got lots of time, so it's fine.
I think that's the issue, isn't it? All this time. So what week is it? What week of lockdown are we in now?
7 or 8?
7 or 8. Oh gosh. Okay.
I think.
How's it going? Any more crochet masterpieces?
I've just started a new project. All the Instagram crochet and knitters are having a heyday at the moment because obviously everybody's at home and a lot of people are learning how to knit and stuff. So I'm making a quarantine blanket and following this pattern by a lady who has a blog, and she puts up a different square of the blanket every week. So that's quite nice because it kind of feels like there's a bit of a community doing it, and we'll all have these blankets that are that are the same-ish, but we'll all have used different colours and stuff. So I'm enjoying that.
Very nice. Where are you getting your wool from?
Well, so if you are interested, Wool Warehouse are still delivering. I had a bag this big come through. Sorry, It's not great for a podcast, but I had a massive bag come through yesterday. So that was very exciting. It has been, the highlight of my week, my yarn order.
I think getting deliveries is the only exciting thing that happens now.
Seeing the postman walk past my house is honestly the highlight of every day.
Like a little dog in the window.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. How has your week been, Laura? Tell me all about it.
Oh, well, I haven't really done much this week. I've been just reading. We kind of really overhauled my housemate's garden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, you moved since we last spoke.
I have moved. Yes, I have moved. And I know that sounds a bit strange in lockdown, but my friends were buying a house and it would have fallen through if they hadn't bought it. So that's why we left. So yeah, I've just been doing that really. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the National Theatre Frankenstein on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. It's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be tuning into that. So that's quite
right.
A point of the week for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, apart from that, just been getting on with uni stuff and reading and yeah.
Nice.
About it.
Standard quarantine activities.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this week we've got an interview that I did before lockdown, but it is still on Skype because it was to the course lead from the speech and language therapy master's course in Ghana. So I've got to say sorry to Josephine, who is the interviewee. The line is a bit crackly because we had a few internet problems, but it's a great interview. And would you like to have a listen, Kat?
Yeah, I'm honestly so excited to hear this one that I've been really looking forward to. I think it's so interesting. So yeah, fire away.
So today I'm joined by Josephine, who's one of the course lecturers on the Speech and Language Therapy Masters at the University of Ghana. And today we're going to be discussing her experiences of teaching on the course and setting it up as it's the first of its kind in Ghana. So first of all, welcome, Josephine.
Thank you, Laura.
It's lovely to finally meet you after all of our back and forth emails.
Yeah. Thanks so much for this. I'm excited about it, really.
Yeah, well, it's great to connect and actually be able to share some experiences of our course and yours.
Absolutely.
Really, really important. So yeah, if you'd like to start off by just giving me a short introduction to yourself, please.
Okay. So my name is Josephine Ohenewa Bampoe. I am a speech and language therapist by profession. I trained at City University London. I currently work for the University of Ghana with the School of Biomedical and Allied Health Sciences and Department of Audiology and Speech and Language Therapy. And I do some clinic stuff with the Kolbu Teaching Hospital in Ghana.
Amazing, fantastic. So we were chatting a little bit earlier about setting up the course, and I thought you could tell me a little bit about how did this idea first happen to start a speech and language therapy in Ghana.
Okay, so I'm going to take you as far back as 2005. At the time, I was doing what we call here national service. So after your first degree in Ghana, you do a 1-year national service kind of. So you get allowance, but it's like a service to the nation, really. And so I happened to be posted to the Department of Linguistics at the time because I did linguistics for my first degree. And then my colleague Clement as well. So whilst we were there as national teaching assistant at the time, our head of department then got a letter from the school, the dean of the School of Biomedical and Allied Health Sciences of the same university, requesting for 2 students with a background in linguistics to go and pursue a course in the UK in speech and language therapy, and then come back and set up a program. So I remember at the time there were quite a number of us at the department as TA. So we all applied, and then myself and Clement actually got the offer. And so City University interviewed us on phone, and Clement and I actually got the offer to come study. So the government sponsored us. That's the Ministry of Health. Sponsored us to the UK, to City University, to do an MSc program in speech and language therapy, with the idea of coming back to start a program in speech and language therapy.
Okay, so had you heard of speech and language therapy yourself as a profession before this opportunity?
Very, very interesting question, because no, I had the first time I ever came across the word or the profession was when a head of department had told us about that at the time of School of Biomedical and Allied Health Sciences. And I said, well, this sounds very interesting. So I think I remember at the time, I mean, it was quite difficult to have access to internet at home. So I went into an internet center, usually we say a com center or an internet center, to read up a little bit about speech and language therapy, and thought, well, this sounds really interesting. It will be something that I'm very much interested in. So why not give it a go and apply?
And your life took this massive turn.
Yeah.
So if you look back to 2005 or slightly before that, you would never have guessed you'd be in this position now.
No way, never.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. And I really enjoy what I'm doing. So it's a good decision really to apply.
So you've done all your training, you're ready to set up the course. What was the biggest challenge? What was your biggest challenge?
Getting people to do the specialty courses. So like things like voice, head and neck and laryngectomy, stammering, aphasia, and all that. But we were quite fortunate because with the help of Karen, we got to know about the DAP fund by the Australian High Commission, and which we applied, and we got some funding to be able to get people to fly over to Ghana to teach.
Oh, wow, really? So they
from Australia, from the US, from the UK, from Sweden, and from South Africa to come teach.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because I was going to say, how do you teach these specialisms if you haven't, if you're the speech and language therapist in Ghana at the time, there aren't that many.
Yeah, true. So that's how we managed to get people down here to come teach those specialty courses. And also, when they did their year internship, actually, we kind of had difficulties with who is going to do the supervision, because there were just 3 of us at the time, and well, we were all at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, but then we had people in different hospitals in different regions, really. So we discussed with the visiting lecturers that we've had throughout the course, and carrying together with Jane Dawson from UK, came up with what we call the British Ghana Partnership. They call it the Bright Partnership. So Jane sort of looked for therapists in the UK who would be willing to mentor these 12 and also sort of mentor them remotely. And we got some funding from Speech Pathology Australia in terms of buying resources to be able to sort of have Skype meetings with their mentors from the UK and all that. And it worked really well. So more or less they did the mentoring, because again, we had students who were teaching at the university, and so we couldn't have supervised them during that 1 year period. And the Bright Partnership from the UK were quite helpful, very, very helpful, especially in mentoring these 12 to be able to pass their licensure exam and to be employed by different institutions to start work really as speech and language therapists. Yeah.
So this really was kind of almost a worldwide effort.
Yeah, I know.
And so after all of this, all your training, all of these bureaucratic hoops that you had to jump through and getting everyone to fly over, how did it feel when you saw your first cohort graduate?
Oh goodness, we were so excited. I felt like, wow, this is like a dream come true. It happened really. And I think sometimes I was earlier on, I was talking to another colleague of mine. I was saying, most of the time we are kind of hard on ourselves when we're always thinking about the challenges, but really on that day we kind of saw the fruits of all that we've been up to since 2014, I think, when we have started this whole thing in terms of the curriculum. So we're very excited. Unfortunately, Karen was not here with us, but we sent her some photos. She was super, super excited because she was very instrumental in setting up this whole program. We were all very excited and very proud of them, all 12 to have graduated.
So another question I was going to ask you were kind of around the attitudes to speech and language therapy in Ghana. Is it a well-known profession? Because I mean, even in the UK, we're celebrating, the 75th anniversary of RCSLT, but still, it's very common for people to think of speech and language therapy as just stammer or elocution. So, what are the attitudes in Ghana to speech and language therapy?
Outside the hospital, I'm not very sure many people know about speech and language therapy. We've tried to create some awareness by taking advantage of these things like the anniversaries or the days that we had a Voice Day, World Voice Day last year, and some of our newly qualified had a program at their hospital. I've seen a few write-ups about things that we do, but really, generally, people really don't know about the profession. And when people ask me about what I do when I say speech and language therapy, they go like, "So are you going to help me to talk?" I guess so. Then it's an opportunity to tell people what we do. Really, so people seem to know a lot about autism in Ghana, again, because there's been a lot of awareness about autism, and so but speech and language therapy is fairly new in Ghana, and even some health professionals don't know about the profession. And in medical school, they are not taught about that as well. So we've had a discussion around that, and one of the new pediatricians, who is a lecturer at the university, actually, I think is teaching them about communication disorders so that they would have some awareness, really. Yeah.
I have to get you in, Josephine, to do some lectures. Okay, that's really interesting. And so when you do graduate, like, do you in Ghana, do you specialize into certain areas of speech and language therapist, or do you do lots of different roles?
So again, because we don't have the luxury of having a lot of SLTs in Ghana, we really don't specialize. So I remember when we started in the clinic, and we started with the walk-in clinic. So I mean, you go sit in the clinic and you don't know who is showing up kind of. So you're there and voice comes in, stroke, stammering, early language, clefts. It was difficult, really. What we are doing now at the hospital, where we have 6 of the newly qualified, is actually get them to tell us. So last Friday we had a meeting, and we have Jane Dawson from Queen Victoria Hospital in the UK, who is visiting Ghana for, I think, 4 months or so, to help us with. She specialized in head and neck and laryngectomy. So we've been talking about finding out what people's interests are and get to them to sort of do more of their interests, really, to be able to specialize, kind of. So we are now beginning to look at that, where people specialize. But really, now as it is, you are doing almost everything.
My gosh, that sounds so tough.
Well, a bit of everything, really.
So my other question was going to be, so obviously you trained in City, with UK kind of frameworks. How do you take that back to Ghana, and especially because it's a multilingual country? I mean, this is just some quick Googling, but there was, I think it said 80 main languages or something. How do you bring those frameworks back to Ghana and teach your students for your clients?
Yeah, it's a very good question, really. So I happen to have taught, we are done with the semester. So I taught the multilingual module this semester. It was new to me, actually. So I did a lot of reading myself, and I learned a lot of stuff. And it was quite interesting because the students actually brought on board some experiences that they've had, and in terms of looking at things from people's cultural background. So even though in Ghana, like you said, we have quite a number of languages. The official language is English. The trend now in Ghana, really, which is a bit disappointing, but I have to mention, is that most families are now just using English as the home language and the first language and the only language for many of these, even typically developing children here in Ghana. So I sit there in clinic and I see somebody come in, and the mom, I'm told, okay, speaks English, and that's all. They don't speak any other language with them. It's been a debate here. Parents have said, well, when the child goes to school, it's English they speak, and so they need to get better at English. And so they think that by starting English from home and making English the only language, their children will probably be more proficient in English, really. And this is at the disadvantage of their mother tongue, really. And so I must say that I haven't really worked with somebody in any of the local languages before. Not because I'm not capable of doing that, but because most of all the children that I've seen in clinic have been made monolingual speakers of their parents' L2, which is English.
Wow, that's really must be quite frightening to see, the native languages of Ghana kind of just converging into English.
Yeah, so that's the trend now. I don't know. I've argued with people over these things, and they have told me that, well, if you go beyond the shores of Ghana, nobody would be able to understand any of the local languages. So they think English, they need to do English with their kids. And I keep saying, well, but these children have the abilities to learn more than one language. So why limit them?
So what's going to be the future for your course? If there was one big goal that you have?
Right. We are hoping that the university will actually employ some of these new first cohorts who have just finished on part-time basis, and we can gradually mentor them to be able to teach some of the units, so that then we can go ahead and pursue our PhD.
Okay, so I just want to reassure everyone, I know that sounded quite abrupt, but we did say goodbye, but I just forgot to record it. So it was that was my first Skype interview, so it was a bit of a novice moment for me. But we did have a lovely goodbye. We left as friends. It was fine.
Easily done, I feel. I think interviewing people over Skype is, it's an extra challenge on top of interviewing somebody in the flesh. So I think you did very well, and it was so nice to hear from Josephine. So thank you, Josephine, if you listen to this. Speaking to Laura, that was really, really great.
Yeah, so interesting to hear how the creation of a new course has got so many hurdles to get over. But I thought especially it's quite apt in this time of, you know, the globe coming together and
talk about collaboration, right? That's
exactly.
Impressive.
But yeah, so that's about it for this episode.
I wish there was more to talk about, but
I'm going to try and take up a new hobby before next week, so
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I have something really exciting to tell you about.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you for listening, and tune in next month.
Take care, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Bye.